Answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. If he showed that, his cover would have easily been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man was not Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to that, Officer Marshall? True, it is circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? Still denying it. Who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. Thanks for the advice there, Edgeworth. Thinking outside the box. I shouldn't be looking for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. There was no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did. Despite the chance, it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that the white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened in order to put the cloth inside. Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. One moment, please, everyone. Bingo. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Gladly, Your Honor. Wait a minute. I gotta see something. Bingo. Right here.
Take that!
For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. And the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your own locker. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Here we go, everyone. Buckle up. This is where it gets very, very scary. Two years ago, if you're only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now. Now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I plan to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Exactly. So the supposed victim was really you. It's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor in the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Managed to cut his own hand. That could explain why his hand was bandaged. Hold it. When you say it, you mean the SL9 incident. It's gonna completely end with the transfer of that day. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. That I already know. Hold it! Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? Be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card. Stole that from winning in the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out their lost item report. I returned his ID card up on the floor of the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found there was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck at the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Hold it. He pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. By the way, what happened to your knife? So you knocked out Officer Meekins out, and...
Hold it!
So you did your research beforehand. However, you embodied your code in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. open my locker and stash it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing at that time? Hold it. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. The victim shown on the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Why not? Evidence was already gone. Where is the evidence, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Goodman's locker was already empty? Somebody else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a fellow officer, that is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. I know exactly why he's doing this.